CJ-7 LS swap. Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's been back in the corner I've had for a long time. I actually bought the LS and ended up using it in tetanus for a little while. And now it's determined that I'm going to do something different with tetanus. I got a 6-liter for it. We're going to put this little 5.3 in a CJ-7, which I think may be just right for it. One of the things, of course, is what do we do for a transmission? The T176 would probably be okay behind the 5.3, but I'm a little leery of it. Problem is, transfer case now, and I definitely don't want to go with the aluminum chain transfer case that came with the Yukon. Let's face it, they're not great. I've got a Dana that should be perfect. It's shorter, takes up less space, and this short wheelbase, every little bit coming forward helps. When we start looking for how do I adapt this, what I've done is I went with Novak, who has a small, shorter output shaft. It actually shortens up the whole transmission a couple inches. Well, you know, I don't know if you guys, how you feel about it, but a couple inches is a lot. So what we got to do now is get the output shaft out of that 4L60, put the Novak one in it. This Dana ready to set in that Jeep over there. So right now, let's go to the shop, see what's going on. I've not cleaned this up as much as I'd like to. I'm going to break it down a little further, and we're going to clean the case of this and all that good stuff. You know, it needs to happen. What will make this a little easier to look at, however, is let's get bell housing off of it, flip it around here, get to everything we need, and kind of get it, you know, cleaner. You know, the cleaner it is on the outside, the less likely I am to contaminate on the ends. So let's get the bell housing off. So I've already broke all these loose. These are a Torx Plus T50. It's a little more substantial than a Torx. The Torx, you can see that right there. Didn't have quite the sharp edges. If you use the normal Torx on this, they tell me they will round off, so don't try that. Second thing to remember is when you start to pull these out, this aluminum's gripping it pretty tight. A little bit of heat goes a long way. Heat the transmission housing itself just a little bit, enough to kind of warm that aluminum up, and it'll expand enough that you should be able to break these loose and spin them right out. I actually use oxyacetylene with a really low flame. There's 8 of them. Everything looks good and clean in there. Again, I want this thing as clean as I can, so give me a few minutes. We'll clean this as best I can, get all this loose stuff off of it. We'll get this pan off the side of it, and then we'll start getting ready to take the pump out. In case somebody missed it, there's a little spring right down in here. If this has never been apart, it should be pointing in this direction, so you can reach down in there with a little pick like this. Reach down there and just kind of pop it out of their place. Then this is down in here like so. Pull it out, and I'm putting the bolts back in it right there. So what happens next, we'll roll this thing back around. We're gonna pull this pump off of this. There's a couple of things to look at. We can take the pump off. One, the filter goes in the bottom of it right here. All right, so that's gonna point towards the pan. Also, when you're looking at this pump, 2 bolts are close together. This thing only goes in one way. You can't get it clocked incorrectly. So, while most of the time I would tell you make a mark, blah, 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 really no need. Pay attention to where your bolts are. You will be in no problem. Seven bolts hold that in. They're all identical. Now, I need to get me a little something something. Put a pry right underneath that pump. So we got that broke loose. Just okay with that. There is a gasket that will possibly reach, but I got a new one on the way. Now, where it all comes fun now, right? My band just popped off. Perfect. So, what I'm talking about there, if you look down in here, I just kind of give that a little wiggle. And that band, right there's a little dowel. I don't know if you can see it or not. But generally what we have to do is pull this to one side real hard and pop that off. And then that allows me to pick everything like this, straight up out of it. Set that right off to the side. Next thing, down in here, there is a snap ring that fits on that. Flat snap, blah, blah, blah. So I'm taking just a normal pair here and see if I can get down into it. But mine are on that side. Definitely a pain in the ass. And my tiny hands, you know, that's not helping. And of course, the battery ran out as the spring popped off. I literally heard the camera beep and the spring went pop and just popped right out of it. I'm gonna set it right there. Since we're going so well, let's see what it takes to knock this shaft out. There we go. Here's my new one. Again, you can see. Notice it's got a wheel here. We're going to actually move the sensor out of the transfer case up to here. So that's an important thing about this kit, is it actually moves that reluctor, or the reluctor wheel, I guess you'd call it, whatever it's called, onto the transmission, whereas the average shaft is right there. And again, it's a good couple inches. So we're going to slide this shaft back up in it. All right, here we go. And this might be a cluster here again, but proof that I may be able to do something even if I don't have the right tools. There we go. Yeah, it popped in there. All right, setting that back down in here. We'll give it a little spin on the bottom. You can see it's there. You see it's going to set below where this pump sets. Let's see, can we get this in here? There we go. Got my new gasket. So once again, this thing has only one way it can go. Gonna see it down in there? Sure that stays exactly the way I want. A little of this assembly. So the big reason, get that assembly glue. It's got this little nylon on the pump. The reason I want to use this assembly glue on this is there's these two holes, and you have to line this thing up and you set it down on there. Well, lining up, getting it to drop in there may be a problem. So I'll take this stuff, give me a little spot or two in there, enough that it'll hold this in place. Again, just got to line those up. All right, assembly glue's there, and it'll hold it upside down while I put it together. All right, let's find pump. So it's going to go down here at the bottom, like so. That's more like it. Looks like it turns all right. O-ring back on there. Looks good. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Need to torque these down. And if I'm not mistaken, they're 18 foot-pounds. Slide this back in. So just a quick kind of reminder here. Pay attention to which direction these are in, because this will slide in either way. But what should happen is the wires should go towards the valve body. So they should come out the side closest to the valve body. All right, and that is this size right there. You know what's the torque specs on that one? It says 8 foot-pounds or 96 inch-pounds. All right, there's that one. Pull this little pin off. Get that bad boy back down in there. Oh, look at that. Ain't that nice? All right, I didn't clean that up as well as I should have, so we are going to clean that up real nice and pretty like. And get that new gasket, that pan, and we'll put that all on in just a second. I don't know if you saw that, but I had to take the pump loose because evidently it kicked just enough, so. But that's how you got it off. Threaded that into that and then drove it out. Now to put the new one in. The 3/4 socket fits pretty beautifully on that. Beautiful. Take the back side of a 3/4 dead blow. It's just right. Now, let's hope this I still don't like the way that fits, but I guess once it's all together, it's all together. Yeah, it's all there. Didn't clean those up when they needed to be. Alright, getting all these started around here with this thing now. And the assembly glue on the gasket. Has anybody else used that for that purpose? Just curious. Alright. Overkill? Maybe. I'm a firm believer. Every gasket that's serviced sees a torque wrench. What it's been telling me now is 8 to 10 inch-pounds. I'm going to assume about 110. And here we are, going through batteries. So 30, 35. We'll take this thing on up. So, torque spec for the bell housing, what I'm seeing is about 35, 40 foot-pounds. I'm gonna take it to 40. They say make sure to crisscross them. I've snugged all these down in a crisscross. We're gonna All right, 40. All around the world. All right, so the Novak kit comes with some other good stuff here. It will fit just like so. So the Novak goes straight down. And the other side goes right here. I'll bring you over here. So yeah, when this thing goes in, you'll be able to read Novak. And then your actual transmission mounts will bolt up here. Gives you a little, like so. And whatever your transmission mount bolts to will be beautiful, right? So we've got studs to put in over here. We're gonna get those studs put in, get this thing torqued into place, find our 300. I think I called it a 200 earlier. We're gonna find our 300 back there in the pile. I haven't looked it up yet. And then we'll try and figure all this stuff out. Tell you this much though. In the drawing, if you look, the mount goes straight down and it looks like your fitting's here, but it's actually off to the side. All right. Little blue Loctite on each one of these as they go in. Now I want to make sure that these go all the way in to the back side of it. So I can feel that it's a full amount onto it. In case there's anyone watching that doesn't understand what I'm doing here, you double nut these things and they kind of lock themselves into place. That way you can use the wrench to turn one of the two. I don't know how many beginners watch, but that way I get a good spot there. Put them back together and they pop. Now these are all tight enough that when I go to tighten this down, put this thing in there. So there are 2 different sizes in that. And 6 of these bad boys. Again, it says 40 foot-pounds. Now this is also comes as a clocking ring, and it says to use the 3rd one up because this 4L60 is a little bit wider. Hopefully I can get rid of this cover and a few things and remedy all that garbage. And still at 40. It would be nice to have these as an actual opening instead of these damn crow foot or flares. I wish it would work. It won't. All right, lovely. 17 millimeter. Now I've got my transfer case to go find. I'm also going to have to do something for a shifter because I don't think I'll be able to use a column shifter. So, quick once over this thing. The Novak, I don't even remember the part number. It's the 4L60E to Dana 200 or Dana 300 transfer case adapter. It's shorter, so saves me a little rear drive shaft. That's the reason I went with the Novak instead of advanced adapters. You guys do what you want to do, how you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. All I can tell you is I did everything I could to try and make sure that this thing worked as well as I possibly could. All the clutches felt good in it whenever I would take it apart. The pump looked good, everything was clean. Very little stuff in the pan. It's good transmission. 100% faith in it. Bell housing, heat, takes them out. Put them back in, make sure you're at 40 foot-pounds. Do a cross pattern, make sure that bell housing gets sucked up in there good. 18 foot-pounds for the pump bolts. Again, cross pattern. 8 foot-pounds for the solenoid torque. 8 to 10 on your gasket. Again, I did a cross pattern, probably overkill, but whatever. These are about 40. Again, I don't have a socket I can get on them good, so I had to put a crow's foot on it, kind of see where it was at, and then try and judge best I could with a wrench. Prefer not to have to do that, but there I am. Now I've got my seal in place here. All I gotta do is find my Dana 300. So come back, see what we're doing next.